Back here on the K&C Masterpiece on 105.3 The Fan, Corey Majors, Fred Davis, Alec Medford, and right now joining us, it is our very own Carter Freemon, who knows more about college football than you.
Mr. Redhead Rage himself.
Yeah, Redhead Rage himself, but he definitely, that's what the reason we have you on, Carter, is because college football is your bag, dude. Like
It's a problem.
He's a bit of a freak when it comes to it, all right?
But I didn't make Bruce Feldman's freaks list.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed.
He said no
Maybe
yet.
I was 101. Out of 100, I was 101.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, exactly.
He doesn't know yet. He needs to be in the know. But that's why we always like to bring him in on these conversations, because 877-881-1053, do you think you know more about college football than Carter? You can try. I can dare you to, but you probably don't. I saw this. It was if I could go to a college football game every single week, here's the schedule I would follow. And so I wanted to kind of go through this because my bucket list, number one stadium I want to go to is LSU on a Saturday night.
True.
That has always been and I want to go to Ole Miss at some point because I've heard the party scene there is amazing. Pretty sure that was the party scene where Katy Perry dropped the thing on Trevor Knight.
It was.
When that happened. So that environment itself, but really more than anything, I could care less about the game. Games could be great. Games
Vibes.
could suck. You never know what you're going to get. I want an environment. And it feels like the lead up at LSU, the lead up through the day is going to be fun. Mm-hmm. And then the environment at night, I mean, we all know there. So here is week 0. There's really only one option, Carter, and that is Iowa State, Kansas State in Dublin, Ireland.
Not Stanford at Hawaii?
No.
That's the perfect time to go to your Hawaii game, is in week 0.
Yeah, Hawaii is a good place to go. But you get a chance to go to Ireland.
Yeah, to watch two Midwest schools.
Yeah.
Some Farmageddon.
Farmageddon in Ireland.
I do like that it is a conference matchup. We've gotten this 2 years in a row now, where last year it was an ACC game, Florida State and Georgia Tech, and now it's Iowa State and Kansas State. Mm-hmm. And then you know what it is next year in Ireland? TCU and North Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Belichick,
that game was supposed to be here, but they moved it to Ireland.
I like that. That's kind of cool. Kansas State, are they when it comes to that state?
I'm sorry, what?
Are they? They're the better football program.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When was the last time Kansas beat Kansas State?
It's been a long time.
Week 1.
It's been a long time. You got to start somewhere.
Week 1, because that was week 0. Week 1.
This one I'm curious about because I think there's 3 incredible options you can pick in week 1.
And that he did say Bama at Florida State would have been great a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, Clemson kicking off at night would be electric. But how do you stay away from Texas and Ohio State with Arch Manning trying to win in front of 100,000 people at the Horseshoe?
And that's, I believe, the college or the coaches polls 1 versus 2.
Yeah.
So to start the season off with that it's hard to beat, but man, I think the matchup with the Tigers of Death Valley at Clemson, if that game was at LSU, I think I might pick that over it. But the fact that it's at Clemson, I would still probably go Texas, Ohio State.
Okay.
Somebody did text in and said, you got to go to Knoxville. It's an absolutely crazy environment.
That's my number 1.
Yeah.
I would love to go to Neyland someday.
Yeah, and that was what we asked Joe Milton, right?
About the environments?
And he was like, I don't know, man.
Well, he mentioned Penn State, and he was there for that Michigan game where they got a 15-yard or a delay of game penalty as soon as before the first snap even happened. Joe Milton was there, so
that but Knoxville. Okay, I'm taking Memorial Stadium in Nebraska. Obviously there was a time when that was a I have to get to that place. I don't know that I feel that way right now, but it's still a great environment. And obviously Wisconsin, they play Jump Around, which is Fred's go-to
karaoke jam.
Week 2, he says Michigan versus OU.
That would be my pick too.
Okay. And somebody just said that OU's worst schedule for this year, Oklahoma, best odds to upset Vegas, Oklahoma. So they say they have the worst schedule and the best odds to
what do you mean
upset Vegas? I don't know.
Oh, just like go over there over-under?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, OU and I think like Florida have the 2 toughest schedules in the country this year. And yeah, OU's it's brutal. I mean, it's LSU, it's Alabama, it's Tennessee, it's several Texas, several playoff teams from last year. But I think I'll just say now that week 2 game that we just mentioned, OU versus Michigan, it's in Norman. I think whichever team wins that game is going to make the playoff.
Okay.
I think that's an early statement thing for either team, because if OU can show me that they've overcome their offensive issues from last year and beat a young, talented Michigan team, I can start buying into them. Then on the other side, if Michigan comes in with Bryce Underwood, their ballyhooed freshman quarterback, and wins on the road in an environment like that, I'll have a lot more faith in them in the Big Ten.
From week 3, A&M Notre Dame and Florida LSU, intriguing, but Knoxville for Georgia and Tennessee.
And that's early for that matchup.
Yeah,
that's usually a November game, but we're getting that third week of the season.
Is that goalpost going into the river? Or it costs too much now?
And this one's in Neyland?
Yeah.
No, Georgia's going to win that by 2 touchdowns.
But the only thing I'm going to push back on this, you got Florida LSU. I mean,
Florida at LSU, yeah.
I mean, that could be a Heisman showdown.
It could be.
You know, Lagway and Nussmeier.
But so's week 1 between Nussmeier and Cade Klubnik at Clemson.
Yeah. And hey, look.
Or Arch versus Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State.
Right. I mean, but Lagway, I mean, everybody's loving this kid up. And we're gonna have we'll have a decent idea about whether this kid's. We think he's a real deal Holyfield, but you'll really feel good about it on going into week 3.
If you want the environment, that'd probably be the game to go to. But then that can be the statement for Lagway, like I'm here,
right?
Like I beat LSU.
Exactly. No, I'm with you on that.
Week 4, Michigan and Nebraska. Already seen them once, so he says I'm going to go with Florida at Miami, so he can check out the U, who you think is overrated this year.
I do. They're top 10 in the coaches poll, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was a bad defense last year, and Cam Ward bailed them out time and time again. And
Right.
Cam Ward's not there anymore. Xavier Restrepo's not there anymore. Damian Martinez isn't there anymore. And you bring in Carson Beck, who his receivers, all they did last year at Georgia was drop the ball on him.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all his fault, but he wasn't that good outside of that. So if I'm looking at a team in the top 10 of the coaches poll now that's going to be unranked by the end of the season, I would pick Miami.
Are they this year's Florida State?
I don't think they're going to be 2-10.
Okay.
The DJU is not their quarterback. Carson Beck is better than DJ. I will say that.
Okay. Going into
Bold
last
take.
season, I asked you if Miami was the best team in Florida, and we had a conversation about that, and then they turned out to be the best team in Florida.
Not good enough to beat Syracuse at the end of the season when they should have.
Man.
Okay. This is an interesting week. Week 5. Whiteout game with Oregon at Penn State, but also Ole Miss versus LSU and Bama at Georgia. He says Bama at Georgia. Out of those 3, I feel like the whiteout game
I think you can't turn down a whiteout game at Penn State. Like if Neyland for me is my number 1 environment I want to go to, Penn State whiteout game is number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially against Oregon, who are all expecting to be good again, who's top 10 in the coaches poll. You know, Daniel Lanning's turned them into a bit of a machine when it comes to talent and consistency. And if they could go in and win that game in that environment, because Penn State's 3rd in the poll, like that's another top 10 matchup. I'm taking that, every day ending in Y.
Plus, you're probably going to see Bama Georgia at some point later down the road anyway, just because that's usually how it wraps up.
Whether it's SEC championship game or the playoff, you could see that several more times.
One team that I don't see listed in here at all, and maybe it's because their regular season schedule doesn't have a great matchup for it, but somebody said, hey, ask Carter to talk about the Hoosiers. They jumped off the page last year. And
when do they play Illinois? I believe Indiana plays Illinois this year, and Indiana's schedule last year was a big part of what helped them get to 11-1 into the CFP.
Yes,
but they were a good team outside of that. They didn't just beat the bad teams they played; they beat the crap out of them.
September 20th, so week 4.
So week 4, okay, that's going to be a good early season test because Indiana's ranked in the coaches poll. Illinois is 12.
They also got Oregon week 6. I don't know if that one stands out for you.
To that point of the Indiana schedule, it's a little tougher this year than it was last year.
Okay.
But the thing about the Big Ten in my mind is there's like 2 or 3 good teams.
Yeah.
It's Ohio State, it's Oregon, it's Penn State. After that, it's a jumbled mess. And I talked about this on Bet Nation with Zach and Eric over the weekend. I'm picking Washington as a team to watch in that conference. Their quarterback, Damon Williams Jr., I think is his name. The last 2 or 3 games of that season, he had like the best QBR in the Big Ten. Give Jed Fish there his second season, kind of assembling the talent on that roster again with a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think Washington's the team to watch as far as like the 4th or 5th best team, but Indiana will be right there in the mix too, as will Illinois.
Week 6, he said he's already seen Texas and already seen Florida, so he's scooting forward to go see Clemson and UNC. And
okay, get some Bill Belichick in
a chance
there.
to see Belichick this year is probably something that's going to be fun. Let's go to week 7. And
you have to skip OU Texas, don't you?
He says Ohio State, Illinois might be bigger in week 7, but he says he's definitely not missing the Red River rivalry.
Yeah. And he's already seen both these teams too, and he's
Mm-hmm.
picking it again because of how amazing the environment should be, the stakes of that game.
You ever been down to the Fair
No,
Park
I
area?
have not. I have not been there.
You need to do
we're
it,
going-
dude.
The goal is to get there this year.
Get
I
to
was
the
on air last week.
Get to the
or last
fair
year.
if you can, for one. If
Yes.
you've never been to the fair, it's always awesome. But the environment around the DFW, all the hotels are booked.
Yeah.
The environment is it's electric around
Luckily,
here.
I live in Louisville.
Yeah.
So those we
they're-
should be okay.
No,
You should be
those are
fine.
booked too. Trust me. They as far out as you can get, all the way to Oklahoma. They're booked
Far
all the
north
way.
as the eye can see.
Yeah. When you get to Anna and you're like, there's no hotels here in Anna.
It is a special, and I know special is a word thrown out in college football a lot, but there really is nothing else like it because there's only 3 major neutral site games in college football. It's OU Texas, it's Florida Georgia, which is played at the lifeless husk that is the Jaguars Stadium, and then they move the Army Navy game around, so it doesn't really have a permanent spot.
Wasn't it better when they called it the world's biggest cocktail party?
Which is still it was better when it was at the Gator Bowl. And I wasn't even alive when it was at the Gator Bowl, but the fact that OU and Texas have been playing at the Cotton Bowl since Woodrow Wilson was president.
Right.
That's awesome. And the fact that the Jaguar Stadium just does not have the same allure that I would assume the Gator Bowl used to have.
In week 8, he says he's going to South Bend for USC Notre Dame.
Okay. This might be
And-
one of the last times we see that game.
Yeah.
If, USC has their way.
Marcus Freeman's a really good coach, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, he is.
Is he in college forever? Is he one of those guys that's like, nope, why would I ever leave Notre Dame?
I hope so, but I never thought Brian Kelly would leave.
Yeah.
And then, LSU opens up and gives him all the money, and then he goes there. So I think in this day and age, you can never say he's going to be in one spot forever.
No.
Week 9, he says Michigan State, not interest. It's Oklahoma State at Tech. And I know you're a big Tech guy. Fred, you mentioned that you love
Oklahoma
Merlin.
State at Tech.
Yeah, I don't. It sounds like that week is kind of
Is it? I mean, I was going to say is
week 9 is
week
kind
9.
of.
I see Alabama
booty.
at South Carolina.
Okay.
That was South Carolina nearly upset Bama in Tuscaloosa last year, so that holds a level of interest to me.
who's Lamar playing that week? Game I
Arlington
think-
Lamar.
No, Lamar.
Jackson?
Lamar down in Beaumont.
Oh,
In the Southland Conference.
The Cardinals. Thank you very much.
Week 10, Georgia, Florida, big one, but he says he's going with Penn State. Is it Penn State, Ohio State?
I do believe that here I have Ohio State.
He said I wouldn't miss Penn State and that Benedict Arnold of a defensive coordinator. They're coming back
Jim
to
Knowles.
Ohio State.
That's true, yeah, and that's in Columbus.
All
that
right.
game.
Then in that week 11, Florida State at Clemson, but he's going LSU, Bama. I think LSU, Bama's an awesome environment.
That's a no-brainer.
Texas at Georgia in week 12. And then he said, I've never been to Oregon, and here it's a stadium you absolutely must see and hear. So he's going to USC at Oregon for that one for week 13.
Pac-12 throwback.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be Oregon-Washington, which is one of the best, most underrated rivalries in the country.
Yeah.
I don't believe it has a name like the Red River rivalry does, but it is a year in, year out an awesome game.
Then let's bounce over real quick. I know we skipped the last week there. That's fine. Let's bounce over to the Athletic. They rolled out their Freaks list.
Which I did not make.
Annual Freaks list from Bruce Feldman. I always keep an eye on it. Now, unfortunately, Mozzie was on this list a long time ago, and we put a lot of weight on that, okay? But number 1, Jeremiah Smith out of Ohio State. Your
No
thoughts?
question. That's easily. Did you watch him last year?
That dude.
Yeah. You saw one play from him. You're like, yeah, that's number 1.
Number 2 is Caden Proctor out of Alabama, offensive tackle. 6'7", 366, and has 274 pounds of lean muscle on his body.
With a 32-inch vertical jump.
Squatted 815.
Yeah.
Squatted 815 pounds. Bench 535. Fred, you said you want to have
we done a drug test on this
a
guy?
bench press competition with some people.
It's just he's from
Not
Iowa.
him.
He's
Not
good.
that guy.
He's a good corn-fed boy
Must
from
be.
Iowa.
My God.
Number 3, Nick Harbor out of South Carolina, wide receiver. 6'5", 245 pounds.
He was one of those guys when he was recruited that the people at the time were like, he's going to make these kind of lists because he's a track athlete too. So you could see it in high school.
2020 in the 200 meter. Yeah. So this dude is measured 5% body fat. Ugh. Amari Washington, Oregon defensive tackle. Is this a dude I need to keep an eye on here?
Him and the next guy, Peter Woods at Clemson, are two guys. So Amari Washington was behind Derek Harmon and Jamari Caldwell last year, but he'll have more of a presence as a starter this year. So you'll definitely see him if Oregon's going to be good. Peter Woods might end up as a top 10 pick at Clemson.
Okay.
That's like him and TJ Parker on that defensive line are going to be terrifying for ACC offensive lines.
And that's just the start. There's plenty more to that list, and we'll get to it before this season begins. Thank you, Carter, for joining us for that. Really appreciate it, man.